Jake Paul, aka Public Enemy #1, has managed to add another name to the long list of guys who can't wait to knock him out. But it seems like he's messed with the wrong fighter, as the newest name on this list is former UFC heavyweight Sam Alvey. The 36-year-old called Jake a total douche and can't wait to fight him. Keep watching as we tell you everything that happened between Jake and Smilin. First up, not a good encounter. Believe it or not, Alvey didn't exactly go to pick a beef with the Paul brothers. He was actually invited by Logan to spar and maybe teach him a thing or two about fighting. Apart from knocking him out and almost breaking his jaw, Sam and Logan hit it off quite well. The heavyweight kept things really professional and tried to be a good training partner for the elder brother. And even though he was pretty much carrying him the entire session, Logan eventually gave in since he couldn't handle Alvey's power. Next up was the problem child. He was supposed to spar too, but after seeing his brother get whooped, we don't think he was too keen about facing the heavyweight. Sam even told Jake that he'd go easy on him, but he just wouldn't agree to getting inside the ring. We're guessing that's what he usually does when he has to go up against someone that has the power to put him to sleep. Now, we're not saying guys like Tyrone Woodley and Ben Askren don't have power, they just don't have enough knockout power compared to Sam. And let's not forget that while Alvey hasn't boxed, he has done kickboxing and has a super impressive record with 7 victories, only coming at 1 loss. But you're probably wondering though, what happened isn't exactly a big deal or something. It's certainly not enough to call someone a douche. So what really happened that pissed off the heavyweight so much that he's now directing all his energy to fight the Paul brothers? Well, after that session, Sam was never invited again. Ouch, looks like he's exposed their strategy. Don't invite guys that can beat us up. Oh, and the 36-year-old also had a problem with some stuff Jake was doing with the girls. We'll give him credit for not exaggerating the situation since he said that there wasn't anything wrong with what he was doing and the girls were also kind of fine with it, but Sam wasn't. And we're guessing that just made him want to knock both of them out even more. Next, credit where it's due. Smilin has always wanted to go out, box, make more money, and just live life, you know? Sam said things like how he couldn't really talk about fighting the Paul brothers back then since he was still under a UFC contract. Now that he's fought it out, he can't wait to pursue other fighting endeavors, and the one on his mind the most is obviously fighting Jake Paul. But what's interesting is that as much as he wants to break Jake's jaw, the heavyweight said he'd rather wrestle Logan because it'll be more challenging. Still, despite wanting to break his jaw, he respects the YouTuber turned boxer for talking about the whole fighter wage issue. Credit where it's due, right? But Sam isn't convinced Jake really believes in it or something. He appreciates the fact that he's always talking about it, but he actually thinks he does it because it's a really easy win. It gets people on his side, both fans and fighters. But if we're being honest, he's opened up a lot of eyes to the fact that fighters are almost slaves who aren't fairly compensated for what they do. Alvey has been reaching out to Showtime in the hopes to fix a fight or at least to get the initial discussion started. Our opinion on this potential fight, it's never gonna happen. The Paul brothers are smart, we have to give them that much. They know who to fight and who to stay away from, and Alvey is the sort of fighter you don't come near. He might not have the best record during the later stages of his career, but don't forget, he's a walking monster capable of putting anyone to sleep. And now for teaching both of them a lesson. Like we already said, we're pretty much sure the brothers are going to make some excuses and try to dodge this fight, but it doesn't mean the 36-year-old can't have fun and talk about what he plans to do with both of them. He actually wants to fight them in a single night, wrestle Logan and pin him out, and then put Jake to sleep. A pretty ambitious plan, but he seems to have grabbed everyone's attention. And we also have to accept the fact that even though both Jake and Logan have more haters than fans, they're still pretty entertaining. So it's a fight people want to watch. The haters want to see them get beaten, while the fans wouldn't mind another upset. If we're talking about the fight in terms of business, whoever promotes it is going to make a lot of money. We're talking millions. And again, that's because this will probably be the biggest challenge of their career. It would mean the end of the hype train. It could finally prove that Logan and Jake are just entertainers who fight guys that don't really care about winning and only want to stack up some easy paper. Time for some related news. Up next, back at it again. Just when you thought that Jake was finally done calling Dana out, he goes ahead, surprises everyone, and comes up with a new story to bring the heat. He's come up with an entirely different and fresh narrative now. The YouTuber turned boxer says that Dana had been going on and on talking about how the promotion has sold out 21 events in a row, but still hasn't increased fighter wages. Like Alvey said, it's easy and gets people on his side, but he always has a point. If the UFC really is selling out events and making more money, where is it all going if not to the fighters? Like, everyone is still getting paid the same amount of money for showing up and winning. The UFC boss did respond to Jake's claims, saying he has no idea what he talks about since the promotion gives a share of the PPV and tickets as it's split among every fighter on the card for the night. But still, Dana doesn't have to say things like how the fighters get what they deserve and their real reward is the fighter they beat up. Frankly speaking, that's not a really nice thing to say. If Jake knows how to get people on his side, then Dana is an expert at pushing them him away. Let's talk about having your mouth wired shut. Sam Alvey seems super ambitious about his plan for teaching the Paul brothers a lesson, but we'd advise him to chill at home, enjoy retirement, and let his jaw recover. Yeah, he might have almost broken Logan's jaw during their sparring session, but did you know that he broke his own jaw on ESPN 40? He'll probably have to get his mouth wired shut so it can heal properly. And even though he's come out on TikTok saying he's never felt so much pain before, he also said that if he had the option, he'd never pick another profession ever. Sam also apologized to his fans for not being the greatest fighter to ever live, since he now holds the record for the longest winless streak at the UFC. He might not have been the best fighter, but we enjoyed watching him a lot. The guy literally got the nickname Smilin' because he was always smiling. We hope we get to see him fight again after his jaw recovers. Finally, a bit too much smirking. Aljamain has really raised the bar in his last few fights at the UFC. He's pretty much silenced his haters after his split decision victory over Peter Yan at UFC 273. He's now getting ready to defend his bantamweight title against TJ Dillashaw at UFC 280 on the 22nd of October. So we reckon he must be really training hard. But despite having a super busy schedule, we're stunned he still finds the time to make videos for YouTube. And in his most recent upload, he made it pretty clear that he doesn't want referee Tan Dan anywhere near him when he's fighting Dillashaw. Apparently, the Funkmaster thinks Tan Dan always has this weird condescending smirk on his face that just makes him feel really uncomfortable. He also called it really unsettling since he always ends up thinking about why he's smirking instead of focusing on the fight. Sterling did drop the F-bomb, but we're gonna keep it clean. He said his smirking feels like he's saying, "Yeah, buddy, you got messed up." A pretty fair ask. Almost every fighter would feel weird if a ref kept smirking at them. Anyway, that's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Will Jake Paul ever consider fighting a heavyweight like Sam Alvey? Or is Logan the better opponent? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.